What's up YouTube, InfectedXenon here, up with my 2,000 subscriber special. Thank you guys all so much for subscribing and for helping me reach an outstanding goal of 2,000. I really never thought I'd reach this much when I first started out my channel. But yeah, mainly because, I don't know, I'm just, I'm just a small town boy living in a lonely world, if you know what I mean. And yeah, so for 2,000 subscribers, a lot of people have been asking for my Bujin deck list. And although this is not complete, as you'll see, I have one proxy, but that's not the point. I am going to be going really in depth with this, and hopefully you guys can enjoy. So without further ado, let's get started. It's going to be main, side, and extra as well. So if you really need a Bujin deck profile and don't know how the deck works, this is the video for you. So of course you're going to play your three Yamatos. Yamato is really your number one key play. It's the card you really like pray to the Yugi gods, like, please give me Yamato first turn, I need it. Like SpongeBob once said, I don't need it, I don't need it, I don't need it, I need it. That's what Bujin Yamato is. He was talking about Bujin Yamato, little did you know. So he's 1800 attack, 200 defense, he's a light attribute. At the end phase you can add one Bujin card so long as you discard one card, and note the card that you discard does not have to be a Bujin card, it just could be any card, but you do have to add a Bujin card, Bujin monster from your deck to your hand. And that's what really helps you set up your hand and your graveyard. So I'll keep this up here as I talk about my other, and also he's a Beast Warrior, which is really important. And our other Beast Warrior is Mikazuchi for the time being. So this guy has a rather peculiar effect, it's pretty long. So the first effect is whenever a Bujin Beast Warrior is destroyed, you can, either by card effect or battle, you can special summon him. So including in battle phase, let's say you attack with Yamato and they activate Mirror Force, you special summon Mikazuchi. And the fact that he's a Beast Warrior is really important, and he also has 1900 attack and 1500 defense. And in the end phase, if a Bujin was sent from your hand to the graveyard this turn, you can search out a Bujin spell or trap. Now, we don't have really a plethora of them at the moment, but hopefully with upcoming support, we can get some more Bujin spells or traps, because it's quite important to have, if you ask me. And yeah, these are what we call our generals. So I call them my generals, okay? Because it's like they're called war gods because they're war, and these guys are just very important to your plays, and so I call them my generals. And here are their weapons. They're called Bujinjis, their weapons are, for some reason. So this is Quillin. Quillin is 1600 attack and 900 defense. Now Quillin has is a horse with a sword in its face, because logic is not needed in Yu-Gi-Oh apparently. And if you control a face-up Bujin Beast Warrior, you can banish him from your graveyard to pop one face-up card your opponent controls. It could be a spell or trap, as it is a card. Then the most important one, the one you want to first turn dump no matter what happens. Like you need to take a crap, I would recommend taking a turtle crap. And so turtle, whenever a Bujin Beast Warrior would be targeted by a card effect, you can banish it to negate the activation, or negate that effect, I'm sorry. So they try to bear pop it, turtle. They try to blaster pop it, turtle. They try to Dracosack pop it, turtle. They try to priestess pop it, turtle. Now, it doesn't stop you from card effects like Mirror Force or Dark Hole or Torrential that don't target, but for the most part this is your most important first turn Centigrave, as you'll see. Because we only have one more Bujin weapon, which is Centipede, which is banished to pop a spell or trap card, as they all work in graveyard. And that's why Yamato's effect is important, as Yamato, you can add them to your hand, one of these, or another one, and send one from your hand to the graveyard. So it combos off with Mikazuchi, combos off with these guys activating the graveyard, and yeah, that's why you need to have Yamato first turn to set up your graveyard and send Turtle to graveyard first turn. And they're all level 4 lights, so you can make XYZ plays with them if need be. We have, and our final Bujinji, which is not, it's a weapon, but it's not in grave. It's Bujinji Crane, so whenever a Bujin Beast Warrior attacks an opponent's monster, it doubles its original attack for that damage calc only. So that means the next damage they could like attack if they have multiple monsters. You drop Crane and then they can attack with another monster and you don't have Crane. So this is the one that primarily you want to be adding with Yamato. And like, so let's say if you opened up Turtle and a Crane, or just Turtle, you can go Yamato end phase, search the Crane, and dump the Turtle. Because again, you want to have the ones that activate engrave, of course, in your graveyard, and you want to have the ones that stay in hand. So you can just play around that with Yamato, and Yamato can search all of these cards that I'm about to show you. He can search every single one of them. Even himself and even Mikazuchi, he can search them. So that's why he's really important, as he is the cornerstone of your deck. He adds all of these cards and dumps any card. So the ones that activate engrave, of course you want to keep them engrave, and the ones that don't, you would primarily want to keep them in your hand. You know, if you're smart, or whatever. So then for our non-Bujin cards in the main deck, one Honest, it's all your monsters here are lights, Honest, light-based deck. And then I'm actually playing around with a bear at the moment. At first I was not a very good advocate of bear, but through testing you always are going to have that random card that Quillin can pop, but then you can't, and then bear just is there. If you open a bear in a dress or a lance, you get yourself a Tenki, and your Tenki gets you your Yamato, and you need the Yamato, so bear just increases our chances of opening up with Yamato. And he puts your dead fire formations, which are really important, I have to say. He puts your dead fire formations, which do get dead, guys, they really do. And he takes care of them and pops a card for you. Or pops a monster. That's it for monsters. That's 16 monsters. You heard me counting probably. And then to increase our chances for that first turn Yamato, like I said, very important, 3 duality. Duality can do many plays, like for example get you your Tenkis, your 2 Tenkis you play, because Yamato and Mikazuchi are beast warriors. You have 6 targets, because including bear. It can increase your chance of going in duality into Tenki or your 3 Yamatos. So it really just increases your chances of opening up with first turn Yamato tenfold, and that's what really we need to do. You can even probably run Upstart Goblin in this deck, but it's not advised because you don't OTK with this deck, and you're just really controlling your opponent's field and stuff like that. So being not able to, or giving your opponent 10,000 life, 10,000, imagine, giving your opponent 1,000 life points is really not very optimal. That's why I don't play it, but some players do. Next, for our best card anti-meta wise in the main deck, 2 Kaiser Coliseum. So pretty much your opponent's monster count cannot exceed your monster count. So if you have 1 monster and they don't, they can only summon 1 monster and they attack you Crane or whatever. So this is why this deck is good in my opinion, because your ability to only need Yamato and still use Kaiser Coliseum, because your opponent's deck's most likely mass special summon, as every good deck does this format. So then I played 2 MSTs, and normally you'd main deck 3, but since I played the 2 Centipedes, it kind of acts as an MST, but you need MST still. And 2 Lance and 2 Dress. For the issue, I told you guys, Mirror Force, Torrential, Dark Hole, cards that mass special summon, mass destroy. You have your 4 forbidden cards. You can definitely cut the 2 Lances for a 3rd Dress, which I would see myself doing actually, but for right now, 2 Lance, 2 Dress is good because it also helps with bear plays. It does a lot of things that you would normally not see. Sorry about that. And yeah, it just protects your Bujins, or your Yamatos primarily, from being death to this. And quick note, I was watching the ARG live stream. Round 2 was Bujins versus Dragoonity, Tempest Dragoonity, and the guy lost because he didn't have Dress or lands, at least that we saw, and Mirror Force destroyed him, and that's why he lost. And then for our 1 Bujin Carnation, this could be search off Mikazuchi. It's a really, really powerful card. So if your opponent controls a monster and you don't, you can bring back one of your banished Bujins and one of your Bujins in your graveyard, and you don't have to XYZ, but if you do, it has to be for a Beast Warrior, Beast, or Winged Beast. And so that makes a lot of cool plays. And another fact a lot of people don't seem to talk about is that it brings back one of your banished Bujins, so you can just reuse it. So that's pretty cool beans. And then I play Book and Dark Hole, and I don't really like Dark Hole in this deck, but I just have it for game 1, and I usually set it out games 2, but I do main deck it now. And for traps, we'll talk about the Bujin trap first. Bujin Regalia, the sword, I love the name. and it does two things. It either brings back a banished Bujin from your graveyard, from your banish to your graveyard, or it adds a Bujin from your graveyard to your hand. So it helps you recycle Bujins, and it's chainable and it's searchable off Mikazuchi. Next, these two cards are Fiendish Chain. I'll have a picture of Fiendish Chain if you don't know what it does, but Fiendish Chain, because we don't have any hand traps that stop effects. So with Bujin, with Fiendish Chain, you stop attacks and stop effects, and yeah, that's why we play Fiendish Chain. It's pretty self-explanatory. Two Mirror Forces. A lot of people don't see this coming. It's fantastic in a mirror match, and it's a mass destruction. Now you like mass destruction in decks nowadays. And I play my holy trinity of traps. In my opinion, I play these in every deck I play. Bottomless, Compulse, and Solemn Warning. Just because they're all good cards, and they're all at once, sadly. Now for the extra deck, you gotta have two Moki Mokis. Luckily I got my second Moki Moki thanks to the Voos. You guys know who you are. Shout outs to you guys if you're actually watching this. They're awesome. And I got my second Moki Moki. If you guys want to give me some Moki Mokis, feel free to send them to me for free. Swag. I don't expect to get any, by the way. So I only have one Susanuo at the moment, but if I had a second one, I'd definitely play a second one, because there are times where you actually want to go to the second one, sadly, and you might not have it, so that's why you have Susanuo. So what he does is he's a Beast Warrior Bujin, and you can either detach one XYZ material to add a Bujin from your deck to your hand, or detach to send one from your deck to your graveyard, and you can only do this once per turn. But main reason is that he's a Beast Warrior and he adds and dumps. That's very, very good. But I would play two if I had to again. One Bujin Kagutsuchi, which is bad. I would honestly not play him unless I had game, and just for the lulz. When you summon him, you gotta mill 5 cards from your deck, mandatory. And it gains 100 for each Bujin you milled, but I never mill. I've only milled one Bujin, and out of like 5 times that I fucked around with this card. And it's kind of good because if a Bujin Beast Warrior will be destroyed by card effect or battle, you can detach an Exceed material instead. But it's just not worth it. But it's kind of good, you know. And it looks hot as hell as an ulti. And then you just play generic rank 4s. This is all I have on me for generic rank 4s, but you could play Diamond Direwolf definitely, not with the reprint, which I'm definitely going to pick up the reprinted one. I'm all about reprints, by the way. Because Diamond Direwolf you can go into after Bujin Carnation. You can pop any of your Bujinjis, because all Bujinjis are are beasts or winged beasts. So that's pretty cool, and it's awesome. So some more generic rank 4s. I wouldn't advise playing 3 level 4 Exceeds, because you waste too much resources for that, and this deck doesn't mass summon to do that in the first place. So that's just rank 4s are cool. And that's it for extra deck. I mean, I don't have a lot of crap, like I said. And here's my extra deck. It's kind of gimmicky right now. I haven't been playing a lot in real life recently, so, well, not competitively at least. So that's why it's kind of gimmicky. And another note, I don't have Vanity's Emptiness, but if you do have Vanity's Emptiness, which is on screen now as I talk about it, it's very advisable to play. It's really expensive for a common, that's why I don't have them. I actually got rid of mine. So pretty much neither player can special summon, so you can potentially, since you never special summon, you're just locking down your opponent from special summoning. Well, you do special summon, but you can obviously play around it like any other card. And it locks your opponent from special summoning pretty much. And it will get destroyed if a card from your field is sent to the graveyard, but since most Bujins are activating from graveyard or hand, it's fine, and Yamato is sending from hand to graveyard. So that's very, very important. So it's going to be kind of hard for them to get rid of the Vanity's Emptiness. So again, I'd play it if I had it, but I don't. So if you want to play it, definitely play it. Now for side deck, one Effect Veiler. I only have one Effect Veiler. If I had more, I'd play more. But I only have one, sadly, at the moment. But when I get more, I'll definitely bump it up to 2 on my side deck. 2 Max Cs. I don't main these because I just don't want to. It's kind of weird, but I only side these in against Dragon Rulers or any variant of Dragoon Rulers or Dragoonity Rulers or Dragoonities. Other than that, though, like any other matchup, this just would be pretty bad if you ask me. Like, of course, decks multiply special summon, but I only want to see these against dragons to stop them in their tracks, and more or less Dragoonities, because they go ducks into Failings and you max C, you draw one, and you either stop them most of the time, or you make them go to HES Behemoth, so you draw 2 and they didn't explode. So next I play Flying Sea for the Evil Swarm and Constellar matchup, which is actually very played here in Miami. Constellars are very played here in Miami, and it's a inside joke really if they ever watch it, but a lot of Miami players do play Constellars or Evil Swarms, so I have this in my side deck for that. But again, side deck's vary for player to player, so that's a fact. MST, Dust Tornado, Back Row Hate, not much to say about that. 2 Shadow Mirrors for dark decks, you got Insectors, Dark Worlds, Evil Swarms, stuff like that. Boom. 2 Rivalries, same matchups, and Rogue matchups, anti-meta, whatever. 2 Gozen. And this is just a random card I'm throwing in here. It's not really going to be used, but it's potentially good. I mean, in theory it's good because you can send any Bujins that you don't need in your hand, or any card really, just to deter your opponent, but it's not going to be used. So another card you can definitely side deck is, it's on screen right now, is DNA Surgery, because it stops Noble Knights, and that's going to be one of the better decks next format, or nearing the end of this format. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. Hope you guys enjoyed. I really enjoyed making this deck profile. Actually, it was a really long video, and it's my longest video up to date, and it's a deck profile, and it's really just a thanks because a lot of you guys asked me to do a really in-depth profile on Bujins, because I play them a lot on DN, and I'm pretty high rated on DN at the moment. So I get a lot of questions always asking me how to make a good profile on Bujins, and hopefully I sufficed that need for you guys today. And thank you guys so much again for 2,000 subscribers. I really never thought I'd reach this goal. Yeah, thank you guys again so much for watching, and hopefully I can reach 3,000 at a sooner date, and only time will tell. Thank you guys so much for watching. InfectedXenon out. Have a good one, guys. Peace.